Hello, how's it going? Right here, I'm going to be going over how the previous week has traded and over the next week. So, I'm hoping that your trading week went well. I'm pretty sure that for a lot of people it didn't because of, how this whole business is structured. This is an exercise into looking at how we can identify some of the best opportunities that are already present and some of the opportunities that might be presenting themselves in the coming week, and also just taking a broad outlook on the market in general. So this is going to go over a lot of different aspects of trading in general, investing for the short, long, and medium term. So let's get into it. So right here, what I'm looking at is the US 500 company. So this is a CFD. This is a CFD that is tracking the SP 500 companies. So it just moves just like the SP 500 would or does, and through this we have all of this happening. So basically, this is the American Stock Exchange, all right, and this is a daily chart. So on a weekly level, this is what we'll be dealing with. This is a weekly chart, and right now the market is closed. This is a Saturday, the 16th of May. So what we're zeroing in is this area here. All right. So this is last week's trading, and the green candle is the previous week. So this is the monthly candle. All right. So if I remove this, we see that we're still in this area. So on a monthly level, we haven't really shown the direction of the market because there's a lot. This is a doji, and the doji shows indecision, and over here what we have is a gap. Okay, so this is a gap on a monthly chart that's visible, and please find the video on playing the gap, and it's going to really explain some of the things that I'm looking for right now. So I'm trying to find another gap in the market, and I might miss it, I might find it, but this might be one. Alright, this might be one. I'll leave it there, but it's not so big. Alright, no. Another gap. No. I mean, like, to an extent, it just has to be obvious, like the other one we were just looking at. So for now, I'll just leave it at that. Let me take a closer look for a gap. And when you watch the video on trading the gap, playing the gap, and stuff like that, you're gonna see why this is very important to identify. All right. So this place here, I'm not really seeing a gap, and it's too low anyway. Nothing's too low, but yeah, it's a bit too low though. So for now, I'll just be content with that particular gap. All right, so maybe I'll look again later. So we see that this uptrend, weekly uptrend, it's been going up since 2018. This was broken rather aggressively. So when we use our tool here, Fibonacci, see that right here where we're at is the golden ratio. So this could be a market top, okay, possibly. So I'm pretty sure I have a video on the Fibonacci tool if you're not really accustomed to that. So I'm gonna remove the, alright, no, I'm not. What I'm gonna do is go back to the weekly and want to zero in on the previous week and the next week. Alright, so this is the previous week here, just this candle here. So let's see what this looked like the previous week here. Okay, so in a week we've had this movement. So this is somewhere around the beginning of the week. So we started here. So we've been basically ranging for a couple of days. As a matter of fact, if we choose this as the first day, for 21 days, the price has been moving sideways, and it's come to this level here where we have this gap here. So there's a gap in the market over here. Okay, so this gap is very important. So the price made a pilgrimage back to the previous gap, as it always does, and as we can see, the market will recover and go back to this gap soon. So if it goes to this gap very, very quickly, we're gonna have another drop, and this drop should come back and fill this gap. Okay, so I hope you can see this gap over here. Let's go to the 4 hour, look at it more closely, see what it looks like. This gap here, all right, and this might be a gap, not sure, can't really see it clearly. All right, I'm on the hourly chart on the US 500, trying to go back in time very quickly. All right, we're stuck, so just use the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour level, this might be a gap, but not really clear. This is definitely a gap, but it was covered. So this is a possibility, but if it does come back to this price, it's not because of the gap, because this gap was already covered. Might be this, but then this is not quite a gap in my eyes. No, this is not a gap at all. All right, great. Gap is something like this. This one's covered already. This is a gap, it's covered. And what's really there is this gap here. This one on the weekly level, and I think it's possible price could go back to this level. And from this level, if it comes back here, this would be a good time to buy. If the S&P comes back to, I'll just say 2200. This is what I'll say, 2200. This is the price I'll set, and if it comes to these levels, we're looking at an uptrend. I don't know how long it will take to reach to this one, but if it gets there quickly without any fundamental differences in the economies, then it might come back down, but eventually we're gonna have a recovery. All right, so this is just on a technical trade. So this is the S&P, and let's just look at this week here. So what we're looking at now is this week here. Okay, so let's go to the hourly. All right, so this is May 15th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days, and this is how our week has been. So from what we can see in all of this trading, we've had a breakdown in so many levels. This is a level of support that was broken down. Price is so strong on the downtrend that it attempted to go back to the resistance, but not quite, but it made a new level of resistance. So we'll see over the week how this is gonna hold up. All right, so this is a level to watch, but we've seen that over the week we've had this low as the lowest low, which was at, the lowest was 274.5. 259.5, so 276. So this is what it's at. Okay, all right, cool. Let's take a look at something else that tickles my fancy. No, let's find a clean chart. All right, great. All right, this is the euro dollar. Okay, euro dollar. So far we're on an hourly chart. Let's go on the monthly level. So over the years since the market crash, this is September 2007, ever since the market crashed, we've been going lower. So I actually always look at this, and in a sense, I'm afraid that it's gonna numb me to what's already there, something that someone else would notice. But since I'm always looking at these charts and all of that, there are certain things that I'm so used to, but it's very important for me to always refer back to like that. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I can see, that this downtrend is supported by this trend line, even up to this wick that was posted this year, a few weeks ago. All right, and not only that, there's this huge pattern that has been forming over the years. So this is a pennant, and if this shoots up, we're looking at one of the biggest moves the euro has ever been in. If it shoots up, if it is indeed a pennant pattern, we're looking at euro going to levels that it hasn't gone to. All right, monthly, zoom in a little. So we'll be looking at some level like this. All right, 1.6 in the euro. What's the possibility of that? Or just generally 160, the previous high. So this is a trade that we're gonna be really closely monitoring, but this is not why we're here. I want us to look at just the previous week and how it closed, what it means for us right now. So this is the previous week right here. Okay, so the previous week had euro going to this high. All right, then dropping. Let's go to the 4 hour. All right, great, very good. And what we can see is that the price has been in a downtrend. All right, this is the 300 moving average here, and it's been below the moving average, which always acts as an area of support or resistance. Like this bounced at 300 and stuff like that, bounced again, bounced at the 300, bounced at the broke the 3, bounced, then broke the 300, bounced at the 300, things like that. All right, and let's make this, I'm gonna change the color for this one, so I want to make sure that I don't forget it. Make it yellow. All right, 300, broke the 300, broke the 300. So this is a very reliable trend line. So far we're going down, and price might spike to the 300 or to the trend line, and we'll see how it reacts. But as for now, the euro dollar is in a downtrend. However, when we look at the daily chart, we see that it is not exactly just in a downtrend, but it is trapped in this area where it's been ranging. So it's in a range. It's not an uptrend, it's not a downtrend, it's a range. But looking even further into this, we see that it's not really a downtrend, it's actually this and this pattern over here, which is a triangle. So it's making this triangle pattern, and we'll see how this breaks. So from what I can tell, it looks like this week, like when you're looking at the action from last week, the week before this previous week, which should be 2 weeks ago, see that the movement, if you're looking at it basically from the price movement of the previous weeks, alright, we just use these. Alright, we just use this 1 week, okay? So if we're just looking at this 1 week, we see that a lot of investors might have been expecting there to be, you know, this upsurge because of these wicks, which show that the tails are at the bottom, the heads are at the top. So it shows that the price looks like it is about to take off. But what happened in the next week was that the price did indeed take off for a couple of pips from this low level, alright? But now it's stuck in this area. So as the week progresses, we're gonna be looking at this level, alright? Seeing that at least these lows will hold up, and ultimately this low will hold up. So if price does dare to go beyond this level where these tails were posted, means that now this entire movement is invalidated. So from this area, if you had been in this trade, it's only 60 pips. So we're not yet trending. We're not yet in a trend. And one thing that's kind of getting me worried is this double top. And if you go to the line chart, you see that this is like a clean double top, classic double top. And from this point of view, you'd see that maybe price might want to go down if it does not break this trend line here. Okay, so this is an uptrend, but if it breaks this trend line, we'll see how it reacts at this level at 7.5, 1.075 in the euro. And if it breaks these levels and holds below, we might have a move to the lows, which would mean that the US dollar would be stronger. Okay, so this is an option, and we're open to this. So this wick here is supported by this movement here, this green candle that was posted last week. But we still have to see more price action. So this is how it actually unfolded over the week. That we had the market opening here, right, ranging for a couple of sessions, spiking down and then going up. So this is stimulated by a report. Was it the GDP readings in the euro? Alright, so the GDP readings made it spike up about 52 pips. Then it came back down. Then we closed here. This is slightly above the open of the week. So in aggregate, the price has gone up, but by a very small percentage. And also the price went even higher, but it spiked up, so it was not able to hold these highs. So maybe there are not a lot of investors at this level who want to support the price at these levels. That's why the price is this low. So basically, as next week unfolds, this trend must hold up if this is going to be an aspect of an uptrend. And maybe you might even see it go as low as these wicks. That price will spike to this low. But if it does break this level, I'll be very concerned. As a matter of fact, if it just goes beyond this level, this is an early warning that the price might be going even further down. But as we can see, the price is giving us this doji, trying to dodge. But this was the Friday trading. Price opened here, closed there, slightly higher, but not really trending. And these candles was a double bottom that has been moving up since. So we have to clear these highs, and I made this yellow line because I saw that there is a very big gap in the market. Where is it? I think I passed it. Did I? So this maybe. All right, I'm gonna look at this. All right, anyhow, so we're at a very, very low level, and we'll see how. Oh wait, why do I have two yellow lines? Oh no, should not have done that. All right, so you remember when we're looking at this, we saw this huge pennant. When we go on the weekly chart, we still see the pennant, right? But it's huge. This is the pennant on the weekly. When we go on the daily chart, it's like too big to be seen in its entirety. All right. So some people have no idea that this is forming, but you do. But now when we go on the daily, all right, so there's this bigger picture pennant that is invisible on it. This one that is invisible, barely visible on the daily chart. Okay, but then when we do zoom into the daily level, we see that there's another triangle that's forming here, and triangles can break in any direction. So that's why there's a lot of uncertainty right now. Okay, but the previous candle, the previous daily candle was showing maybe bull action. The previous one was showing bearish action. So you might have to just wait, see what happens at 108.761. Maybe it's gonna blow up, maybe not. But on a 4-hour chart, you can see this forming, and the bigger picture is invisible here. But this one is the immediate profit taking, and I'm really curious to see if this gap here is gonna be filled. Let me show you the gap. And that gap is like a big deal right now on this chart. Alright, so this is what we have. It did spike back up, but I'm not convinced. I think that there might be some orders that are still trapped there that have to be poked. Pop that bubble. Alright, so this is the gap. So if price is gonna blow up, might blow up to this top. This is about 150 pips to this high. So let's see where we are is here. Where we want to get is there, 157 pips. If this happens, I'm pretty sure the price is gonna reach here, maybe drop, or reach here and go higher, because in the other video on gaps I did explain, or I did show you the other gaps that are there at the top, which would mean that the price would reach this trend level. But I think there'll be a drop before there's a rise, or there's a rise before there's a drop. But basically this is what it's looking like. So this is the euro, and yeah, so all right, I'm just gonna close with this other pair here. So this is the rand, And in my opinion, I think the rand is going to be one of the best trades to make, and I want to be in this one. So as you can see, the rand on a monthly level has been losing value in relation to the US dollar, been going higher, which means that the rand is getting weaker. This is a level that I thought the price was going to start dropping, and I entered some levels here, my stop over there, and then I got spiked out. So I'm not in the trade right now, because at 15 I entered, and also at this level here I entered at 17, but I got spiked out as well. I mean, South Africa has not been doing very well, and still not, but I do foresee a drop or a strengthening in the rand very soon. So this is something I'm going to be looking at, seeing if it's going to test this trend to see really how weak or strong the dollar is. So alright, let's go on a 4-hour chart. So this 4-hour dollar rand, and look at this pattern forming here. So cool. All things being equal, it might just pop up, but it might also pop down. So we'll just see how this goes. If this happens, we're looking at a retracement of the price to this level, which is previous supports. But right now it's just, you know, trade a pawn, where you just imagine that things are gonna happen the way you think they are, because it could still go higher and higher. But we'll see what the price action is saying. For now, what I'm seeing is showing me some weakness to an extent, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. So just keep your eyeballs on the rand. See this pattern here, very, very, very clear and distinct, and there hasn't been a retracement in a very long time. I think it's overdue. So we'll see how this goes. So for now, I'm just gonna wrap this, and I'm just gonna keep this to these two pairs, so that we're not overcrowded with looking at too many things at the same time, because everything is correlated. So if one of these is working, most of these are working. As I've already mentioned in the euro, if the euro is gonna go higher, means that the dollar is weaker. So if the dollar is weaker, means that the rand should go lower, and vice versa. So what we're going to be doing is using correlations in the market, and also using these patterns and other factors. All right. So we'll cap it at this for now, and I'll update you with some other stuff very soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.